What a fucking week, guys, huh? Hey, welcome. Town Hall Community Call number 3. Yeah, it's been quite the week. I think things have been going well. Hoping that they continue to go well. I think that we got some exciting stuff to talk about. We'll just jump into it with one that is super cool. If you saw the tweet with the sushi emoji today, you might have guessed what this is. We will be added to sushi onsen menu, hopefully today, if not tomorrow. They said it'd be today. That is awesome. I'm super excited about that. I think that the sushi community is awesome. That's why we are on there. Yeah, so I'm stoked about that. With that, we have a little surprise NFT that we will be giving to those who stake in the onsen pool. We will come out with. So I have a bunch of articles that are going to come out this week about like that, and then a couple other things we're going to talk about. That will be cool. What we're going to do is 2 of the meme contest winners, the top 2, are going to win that NFT. I'm thinking, what was it? Like 38 of the top LPs will earn them. We're going to sell like 15 of them, and then I think that is it. But when we sell them, basically we're going to do, I think 30% will go to the artist, and the other 70% goes to the DAO. So that should be sweet. Let's get that DAO money in. We are getting capitalized, which is exactly what I wanted. So, I don't really know what we're going to do with all this money, but we're going to have it, and we're going to put it to good use. So that will be awesome. Second one, this one is exciting, in my opinion. We are going to launch bonds a little early. So we're going to do it on the 30th for 3/3, of course. We're basically going to, so we're not quite out of the audit. We're feeling super good about them. I'm very confident in them. And basically we will just launch them with very low capacity for bonds coming in. We also need to do that because we can't inflate supply that quickly. So, it's something that we would have to do anyways, but it gives us a lot of protection and breathing room because 1, there's not a lot of capacity. So there's not a lot of new supply that can be created from them. And 2, they're under a week-long vesting period. And so, if anything were to go wrong during that week, we can just prevent the bonding contract from minting new supply. If you are considering bonding, keep that in mind. So there is a chance that, you could be bonding for 2 days or something, and then we shut off the mintability of the bond contract. It would be unfortunate, and it would be for a significant reason, but keep that in mind. So if you don't like that, just don't bond. With that, so basically the capacity that I'm aiming for is $150,000 of LP per week would be able to go in, roughly. It depends on the price because, the price dictates how economically viable that is. But we added a policy tool to the bonds, which is a minimum premium, and that basically sets a floor for if we weren't to do that, the first bond that got in would get the ohm at par value. So, it subtracts a little bit because the LP is valued differently from $1, but it would basically be like you buy ohm for $30. That's a little too cheap these days. So we added a minimum premium. That minimum premium will be $25, which tunes the system to basically have a floor at $750. Under that point, it's not really economically viable to bond. So it kind of sets a floor for the market where, it can't really have an adverse effect below $750. If we are fully subscribed with those bonds, it will each week produce, the first week it would be 5,000 ohm, I believe, which actually, no, it's a little lower. It's like 4,400 ohm in the week, of which like 120 or something would go to the bonder, and the other, we have like 400 go to the DAO, and then 4,000 goes to staking. That's a lot. that's a little too much. So if we were to lump sum that into one epoch, I think it would end up as like a 3.5% rebase for the epoch, which would be cool because it'd be like, 4 quadrillion percent APY for that epoch. But, I think that it's probably not a good idea to be lump summing those. So we're going to put it on the same system that we have the current, the current rewards on, where basically that ohm that should go to stakers will go to a distributor contract like the one that we have set up right now. It will drip that LP in each epoch. And so we're going to target having 1% supply growth per epoch, which will translate into probably, a 1.2, 1.3% rebase for staking. The APY number there is pretty cool. We're going to break 1 million percent, I think. So that should be pretty awesome. With that, you guys do need to keep in mind, like, it's been awesome so far. Like, I think that the 3-3 meme is awesome. Just keeping in mind that, that doesn't, it can come without a cost so long as people keep staking, right? So if that translates into everyone just going and dumping, then, price is going to come down, which isn't the end of the world, but like the more that we can avoid that while doing other things, the better, right? If we can like do everything that we want to do and not have price goes up or go down, which is what's been going on basically so far, that's the ideal scenario. Even if it does, we what's it called? Even if price does come down, the bonds just like cap out where they're no longer actually viable to do, and so can't have too much of an inverse or adverse effect. But, just if they're too high and it translates into dumping, we will probably just lower it. I think this is a much better system just going forward anyways, in that we can add consistency to the rebases where, what I would like to do is just build up a stock hold of like, we have in the contract like a month or 2 months worth of rewards at this rate. And, we can feel secure in for it. Like, even if no new money were to come in for a month, we would still be able to hold, the 5 million percent APY or whatever that we have at that point. I think that's really good, in terms of our aspirations of becoming stable, of becoming a currency, a big, like, the mother of stability is predictability, right? So the more predictable we can make the system, the better, even if that predictability is, very high APYs. It's just good to not have it be, one epoch it's super high, one epoch it's super low. That's bad. Yeah. So another thing, I will write an article about this as well. I will also write an article about the initial policy state of the bond. But we are going to do a critical bug bounty program just going forward. Basically, if you are a developer, if you want to go through our contracts and you find anything critical, we will give you 200 ohm. That if price comes down and that no longer is worth as much, we will increase that. But it is of the utmost importance that this thing is secure and safe. And we will compensate you heavily for contributing to that. So we feel very good about the contracts. The audit is going well so far. But if you can go find something that we haven't seen, please do tell us. We will happily compensate you, which I think is better than you going and exploiting it. If you exploit it, you're probably still going to come out with less money. And you're a dick, like I do think that most exploiters that you'll see in the space, they give money back because they realize that they're an asshole for doing it. There is a level of someone was going to do it, so I may as well be that person. I totally get that. And so we are giving you an alternative to that. Bring it up. We will fix it. You will get paid. We will all be happy. Everyone will love you. We will shower you with praise. Yeah. Another one is I have a dev challenge that, I want to put out there and see if anyone comes up with anything, where basically it would be like an integration with Pool Together. I haven't talked to them, so maybe this is something that I should just talk to them directly about. But if you want to connect me, that would be cool as well. But basically to turn staking into a no-loss lottery, where there's an option for people where you could, instead of just normal staking, go stake in like a Pool Together staking, where you will maintain your principal. So, if you put in 1 ohm, you will get 1 ohm back. But then you're in the running for a lottery that earns the staking rewards of everyone. So it's like one person, instead of everyone earning 2%, one person earns 500% and everyone else earns 0. It wouldn't be something that you'd have to do. We would have the normal staking as well, but I think that it could be fun. This is already ridiculous enough, but maybe you want to roll the dice and try your hand at an even larger pot. The last thing that I have to talk about before we go through these questions, and I'll just do a little Q&A kind of a thing, is I do think that we are slightly overcompensating our LPs right now. I've been watching it. The reward rate is extremely high, but it's not attracting any more LP, which, if it's not bringing in anyone else, there's no reason to be yielding 1,000% APY, I think. So I would like to reduce it from the 0.02 ohm per block that we are currently paying down to 0.0135, which was my initial plan. I should have just stuck with it. Sorry for not sticking with it. I think that it's been fine so far, but I do think that will be a better rate. I think that it should more than compensate the LPs without, basically we want to pay them as much as we need to pay them, and then I want not more, because LPs are also the most likely to just take their rewards and then go sell them. Especially with the bonds, they become less crucial, especially with the onsen, they become less crucial. I think that that's a good move. If anyone objects to that, please put something in general or DM me. I will respond to you. But barring a compelling argument, I do think that is the right path. So I'm going to go through the FAQ only post channel, and we'll answer some of these questions. I think that a lot of these are pretty common, so hopefully I can clear them up. So at what time do epochs change? So they are on a roughly 8-hour schedule. So it's generally 7:30 GMT, 13:30 GMT, 21:30 GMT, I believe. 7:30 GMT, 7:30, 15:30, 23:30. So all 30 minutes behind 2400 GMT. They're in blocks though. So if you want to find the block number, all you got to do is 2200, which is the length of the epoch, and then just multiply that by a round number until it is an upcoming block. So right now, I think if you do 2200 times 5510, you will get the next rebase or the next epoch end. It happens slightly delayed from that. If you haven't noticed, that's because Ethereum doesn't have anything where time triggers something. Someone has to actually go trigger it. So there is a distributor contract that does so. There is a distribute function on that anyone can call when the rebase or when the epoch ends. It'll trigger that distribution. So far, we've been doing it. If you want to go front run us and do it for yourself, by all means, save us some gas. It's like $10, but so if you notice that maybe it's 10 or 20 blocks delayed, that's why. It also requires that someone goes and stakes into the staking contract to actually trigger the rebase. How long? Okay, so how long is an epoch? 2200 blocks. What is the logic behind 500,000 SOM locked? Basically, because SOM is a rebasing token, we started with 60,000 in supply. It's 500,000 just so that conceivably we never run out of SOM. So because there's new supply being created on the outside of the staking contract that doesn't rebase into that balance, the staking contract's balance is constantly getting diluted slowly. So that just gives us a very large buffer so that staking contract never runs out of SOM to give people when they stake in, because that would be bad. That would basically just mean that no one else can stake until someone unstakes. We don't want that. So yeah. Is there any reward difference between LP staking and unstaking, or LP staking and staking apart from the APY? Yes. LP staking earns you ohm, staking earns you SOM. SOM rebases and compounds. LP staking is simple interest. How does the rebase work? So basically, when the epoch has ended, the staking contract when someone stakes in after the epoch ends, the staking contract looks and it says, okay, 10,000 ohm are there are 10,000 SOM outstanding, but in my contract, I have 10,100 ohm. I have an extra 100 ohm. And so what it does is, okay, the difference there is 1%. So I will rebase up SOM by 1%. So that now there is 10,100 SOM outstanding and 10,100 ohm in the staking contract. Hopefully that makes sense. Basically, it just corrects the difference. And because we only add to the staking contract, we never remove ohm from there. It only rebases you up. How long is the epoch? I already answered that. How can I stake in the LP stake? You would add liquidity, then you would go to our website, go to LP staking and stake it. When you're staking, by the way, I see this question a whole bunch. There are 2 transactions when you stake anything. You have to approve the contract to move your ohm, and then you stake, right? So this, don't blame us. This is an Ethereum thing. We cannot move your money until you give us permission to. And so you need to approve, and then you stake. Does the high APY listed on the staking page go to people who are staked? Yes. If so, how would we see it? The best way to see it is with the index. So the index started at 1 ohm before the first rebase, and every time it increases by the rebase amount. So when you stake in, just make a little note of that index number, and you can track how your balance has changed just by how that index has changed. So if it went from 1 to 1.02, your balance has increased by 2%. It's supposed to be very easy to track because of that. That's basically like the SOM price, if you want to think about it like that. So that's the price increase. What is the reason behind fixing 750 ohm per day for staking rewards? It's not. I'm sorry for the lack of clarity there. The first day it was 750, but it is increasing supply by 0.37% every epoch. The first day that was 750 ohm roughly. Every single epoch that gets larger, I think it increases by 1 ohm every epoch. So it is compounding. Every single time it's more and more and more, which is why even though we've gone through rebases, the APY is roughly the same still. So how do I get my staking rewards? Just stake in. Your balance will increase, and when you unstake, you will get it 1-to-1. So you stake in with 1 ohm. It rebases you up to 1.02 SOM. When you unstake, you will get 1.2 ohm. So it's nice and easy. You just hold the SOM token. You don't have to claim anything. You don't have to do anything. It's very much designed to be nice and simple and just something that you can hold, indefinitely. This is designed for me as a Bitcoin holder where I don't like to do anything with my coins. I don't like to manage anything. You just stake them in, leave them there. And, when you unstake, you will get back your SOM balance in ohm. Is there plans to add an epoch timer to the page? Yeah, so we're going to add a upcoming end of epoch block, and it'll tell you the block number when the epoch ends. And then you can go to Etherscan and look at what the block is right now and, find out how close it is. It's a little tricky because it's blocks in, translating it into a time. Maybe we'll get there, but it's not really at the top of my priorities. Okay. What is the APR for staking? The APR for staking is, I think, it's shit, my calculator's not working. One sec. It's 1100% or something. No, that's wrong. It's 500% APR or something at any given point in time, but they do compound, and so in reality, it actually it actually is that APY. If over the course of the year we stuck to this same rebase schedule, you're whatever the APR or APY says, 20,000%. That's accurate. It requires, if we stick to this schedule, it requires that the treasury between now and a year from now increases to $4.1 million in the treasury. So take that with that what you will. Do you think that we can increase by $4 million in reserves in the next year. That's up to you to decide. Is staking live? Yes. My LP rewards on VFAT have not increased in over. I don't really know about VFAT. I thought it was accurate. You do have to claim the rewards, so maybe that's why, but I don't know. With the sales contract, so I mean, sales should act roughly similar to bonds, but bonds are a little bit more dulled because you're not paying the entire amount to the treasury. It's actually paying some portion to the market, which is like if you were to LP $100 and then bond that, the treasury is going to value that at like $5 or something. So that $95 is given to the market. That means that it's a little dulled and it produces less supply, which right now I think is a really good thing. When staking or when sales come in, we will just tune the inflation constant variable to the market. So we have no interest in tanking the market, just like we have no interest in pumping the market. Market does whatever it wants. Right now we're in a growth phase where we're not trying to be stable. We have no interest in that. Our goal is to profit as much as we can from what the market is doing without interfering with it. Okay, so we will tune things to the market. We will not try to control the market. It does what it wants to do, and we just work around it. And the higher the prices, the vastly more profitable things are. So I had an issue with the higher price before. If you remember that call a couple of days ago, I think I forgot that a good system can adapt to any situation. If it's a good system, it should be able to adapt to whatever environment it is in. I do believe that this is a good system and we can adapt it to this environment. It just requires retuning things. I think I got a little caught up in things going according to what I had in my mind as the plan. Things are not going to go according to what I think is the plan. That's just the reality of not having control over this thing. I am a participant here. I am not controlling it. And so, we will, as I just said, work around the market, tune things to the market instead of having them trying to make the market tune things to us, basically. So the key confusion seems to be that at 20,000, 50,000 APY, people would be expecting to see their SOM balance going up faster. That's because those people do not understand the power of compound interest. Okay, exponential curves, if you look at the beginning of the curve, look flat. They're not flat. It's just a consistent curve upward. It's all about compounding. Everything is about compounding. That is the secret sauce, for real. Please go understand compounding, understand how exponentiation works, understand the nuances of the early stage of exponentiation and the later stages of it. It's fucking awesome. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we are working, toward. We're harnessing that power. That is the power here. It's not number go up, price go up. Fuck that. We're doing exponentiation here. All right. Okay, my balance is not going up even though I'm staked. Either you're not staked or your balance is going up. Okay, under stake, I don't get what upcoming rebase APY current index mean. Okay, I will put that in the doc. You're right. I don't think that there's anything out there about that quite right now. Is 1 POM equal 1 SOM equal 1 ohm? No. 1 ohm equals 1 SOM. That is true. 1 POM equals 1 ohm minus $1. So POM is less valuable than ohm by intrinsic value. The release curve of POM is the larger supply gets, the more of them can be vested. It happens linearly along with supply. So the total is 11.8% of supply that can be vested. Basically, you can think of it as 11.8% of ohm supply is what can be vested from POM and what already has been vested from POM. So if you add together what has been vested, what can be vested, that'll come out to 11.8% of supply. Right now, I don't think that any of us really have that much of an interest in redeeming them. I think that so far, maybe 0.6% of supply has been claimed from those. We're not out here trying to, cash in on this. We're like a week and a half in. Okay. I don't think even that, we launched like 5 days ago. This is a very long-term project. Yeah. So, I mean, feel free to keep an eye on those, but like, I don't think that you really have anything to worry about. Does rebase only happen every 10 epochs? No, it happens every. Yeah. So the ICV, the sales contract is not out yet. Closer. Basically, we're going to have the bonds for at least a couple weeks before the sales. The bonds are going to help us build up a fuck ton of liquidity that is locked in the pool, not going anywhere. That's going to be awesome because that facilitates those sales where now, people can arbitrage the sales contract if they want to, where the sales contract will give them a little discount. If they want to take that discount and then just go sell into the market, by all means do so. If you want to hold on to it, that's cool too. But having a lot of liquidity there means that you can do that. We don't care. Like you're going to make a tiny dent in the market. My goal is to be swallowing up, tens of millions of dollars worth of liquidity in the pool. That is the goal of bonds. We're going to give it time to do so. And then that should set us up for, some good times with the sales ahead. Bonds are kind of like sales light, because you're paying some amount of premium to the market instead of to the treasury. So it decreases the amount of supply growth a little. That's really good right now because in pure number terms, we can't really increase supply that much right now. We have like 70,000 supply. So, $50,000 into the treasury would increase supply by what, like fucking 70%. That's a lot. So we're on this exponential curve and we're very early in it. So we need to constrain how much the supply can actually grow, how much the treasury can take in. And then as we get further on that exponential curve, then we can focus on, okay, let's turn the sales on and really just fucking like shoot this thing into hypergear, right? Right now it's not our goal to really like be kicking up supply that much. It's a little weird, but we're going to get there. Where can we see the DAI backing the outstanding home? It's in the treasury. I've seen the treasury contract float around here a little bit, but I will put in announcements, all the contract addresses, and then I'm going to set up a channel that lists all the addresses, and I will also, anytime funds move from the DAO, I will list it there. I've tried to be, the only time that funds have moved from the DAO, I already announced it. I want to be very, very transparent with those funds moving. I think that that's, more than reasonable to, disclose anytime they move because, they're not mine. They belong to the DAO. And I can't really stress that enough, especially I will probably give a buffer time. We'll announce some fund movement. And then if there's outrage to it, then we won't do it. With that, I'm setting up the scattershot voting. And so for most of those decisions, we should do them as a community. I don't want to be like, we haven't moved any funds from that wallet yet. There's no real reason to, except for funding the reward distributor contract. All of those decisions are going to be made as a community, right? They're not my decision to make. Okay. What is the amount of DAI in the reserve right now? It is $70,000. It's the amount of DAI in the reserve is equal to the supply of them. And then when we add the bonds in, then it'll be like the amount of DAI plus the risk-free value of the LP is equal to supply. So the intrinsic value actually becomes like pretty significantly more than $1 because of those LPs, because the treasury values them at less than their worth on the market. So, that should be cool. And with that, we're going to set up, we're working on it right now. And if you have any experience with like setting up dashboards and charts and stuff, please hit me up. We're setting up a dashboard, put all this information nice and cleanly on our website. That's been something that we've been putting off a little bit because it's kind of like a whole task to do. But I think that's really important, and we are working on it. So if you can help with that, please let me know. Okay. Is the APY accurate? Yeah, probably. Could I tell you more about the old? When do we get the alpha ohm back? It's in, I think, 9 days. So it's 100,000 blocks after the migration started. It should be next Sunday. Yeah, so that should be cool. Oh, which reminds me, with the alpha ohm coming back, I mentioned this on the last call, but I've been working with 18 for this really, really, really cool system or project around alpha ohm that I am so fucking pumped about. Basically, we're going to try to construct a whole virtual world centered around ohm and alpha ohm. It's going to take place in ancient Greece. We're going to try to put together a whole map and, activities and land that you can own. And he told me yesterday he had an idea for if you don't own any land, you can go to the homeless shelter once a day. And that's going to be so cool. I want to make that really, really community driven. So we are working on a post that will kind of lay out our plans there right now, the basic idea. And then I really want to turn that over to you guys, the community, as much as possible, right? I will help organize, but I'm not going to be doing that. My focus is with Ohm and, the actual Ohm token. We have Alpha Ohm. Alpha Ohm is dope. But that is a community token. What that becomes is up to you guys. I don't really have set in stone plans. We've been just brainstorming ideas, but everyone is welcome to get into that brainstorm and contribute. I very, very strongly encourage you to. I really want to see you guys step up here and help us turn that into something cool. I think that it can be absolutely awesome. I chose single side staking. Did I fuck up? It's up to you, man. Different strokes for different folks. Is there a target price? No, I have no idea. I've lost all. I'm not even going to try to fucking predict what we're doing with price anymore. I thought that we did the $4 IDO because, I thought, oh, we'll just give everyone a quick 10x and then that'll be cool. Now we're at a fucking $1,000. So I give up. You guys can do whatever you want. I will work around it. I don't think that it really matters. You guys are just, enthusiastic and optimistic about the future. I think that, as long as you understand that you are buying a market cap, you're buying the market cap, you're not buying the price. So long as you stake, please stake. Do not just hold floating supply. You will just get diluted. So cool. All right. At the time of rebase, yeah, I already explained that. What is compounding interest? Go Google what compounding interest. I don't understand it. There's a lot of resources. It's not that complicated. It's basically, multiplying by the same number every time instead of adding by the same number. It increases every time because you're multiplying. What is the target price for ohm or supply for ohm in a year? I couldn't really tell you, but I would the long-term vision of this thing is we got billions of supply. Whether we get there is a big question mark, a gigantic question mark, but that is what I am shooting for. That is what I would like this thing to become. Greater than DAI supply right now. So we will have to transition off of only DAI because at a certain point, if we grow enough, there's just not going to be enough DAI out there for us to take in. That's a cool thing to think about. We could exceed the amount of DAI in circulation where we could conceivably pump the price of DAI because we are trying to take so much of it in that there's just not enough supply out there. And, they would have to raise their debt cap to facilitate us. That would be cool. It'd be a weird problem to have, too bad of one. What is the status of the audit? We are in the midst of it. We started on Monday. It's going well. I don't really know when it's going to end, but probably a few days. But we are going to slightly jump the gun with the bonds. If we hear anything back from them that the bonds are fucked and we need to not use them and correct something, I am absolutely certain that the withdraw principal function works. So you will be able to take back your principal, and then we will simply make it so that the bonds cannot mint ohm. And basically that means that even when your bond vests, it's just going to be useless. If we do that, please, please, please do not redeem your bond. Okay. Make sure that you withdraw your principal. if you don't understand this, if you, like, bonds are not something that most of you need to worry about. Basically, we're going to be constrained to like $100,000 going into those every week. You can just leave it for the bigger players. Honestly, that's what it's for. You don't need to worry about it. Yeah, can I request funds to buy new domains? I'm working on it. We cannot buy our own domains because it is a docs. So if you look at projects like Sushi or Badger, they have community members donate domains to the project. I have someone who I think is going to do that for us for OlympusDAO.finance. That should be cool. If anyone wants to go out there and buy Olympus.finance or Olympus.fi, that'd be fucking awesome. Please do that. I would love you forever. When do private get their tokens? They have been, they've been open for 4 or 5 days now. So yeah, as hopefully you can see that it's not anything to really worry about. Can we have a timer for the alpha ohm reclaim? Yeah, I can set that up. Have I taken a deeper dive into Uniswap v3 yet? No, I haven't been able to get around. I've been meaning to. It looks pretty cool. The whole concept of like a range that the token or the LP can trade in is super interesting, and I would love to dig into that more. I think that you're probably right that there is a lot of new exciting tools to play with there. Can someone tell me what 3-3 means? Not going to make it, dude. I'm sorry. Won't onsen farm suffer from impermanent loss due to inherent ohm rebasing? I mean, we've been rebasing for a couple days now, and it just depends on what price does, right? Rebasing kind of has nothing to do with it. But I mean, maybe, which is why they're compensated, and it's also why bonds are a really good thing, because bonds allow you, the LP, to transfer your liability and all that impermanent loss away from yourself and onto the protocol. Will just give you pure ohm exposure. So it kind of gives you that option where, like, at the end of that week, you can choose the LP or the ohm. There's really good flexibility there. And if you want to take the ohm, protocol will take your LP. It doesn't care about impermanent loss because it's already valuing that LP at a point where there is no impermanent loss. So yeah, I mean, if you're worried about that, go bond. Okay, can I clarify on what it means that the Treasury needs to add 4 million over the next year? So basically, the current supply increase schedule that we were on has us going from right now 70,000 supply to 4 million supply in 1 year. And so to do that, the Treasury needs to bring in $4 million in assets to back all of the 4 million tokens that it would produce. Okay, I noticed that there's basically an extra piece stake in that stake. Yes, I know. I wasn't really thinking about this. I'm sorry. What we're going to do is probably replace the LP contract with a new one where it basically just won't let you unstake your LP within like 500 blocks of the rebase. I think that's a good solution to it. So basically, like, if you're LPing, you just, for that like 2-hour period or hour-long period, you won't be able to unstake it. For the other 7 hours, you can. And that should prevent them from doing that because either they pull the LP 2 hours in advance or they just like forego the rebase. But you also should keep in mind that those LPs, I think that they make up like 300 ohm or something, out of like 52,000 that are staked. So it's really not diluting anyone by that much. I don't think that it's actually that big of a deal. Can I give an update on the forum DAO? Yes, I'm sorry. It's been super busy. I really want to set up much more governance tools. So Scattershot will come with a forum. I'm hoping to set that up by the end of the day. And then we are on a Gnosis multi-sig right now. I need to test with Aragon. We have an Aragon DAO, but I need to test that with the contracts before we transfer contract ownership over there, because the worst thing that we could have happen is to have no one have contract ownership, because when we add the sales, we are going to have to do a migration of the Treasury. So getting locked out there would be a pretty bad thing. So we need to make sure that that's safe. It's a little bit more involved than I expected it to be, and so I'm sorry that it's not set up yet, but it will be soon. Hopefully in the next few weeks. As always, as I will say forever and always, if that makes you uncomfortable, please just sit out, come back in a couple of weeks. We will have it set up and we'll be good. Any plans for a central exchange listing? Not really. Because with the bonds, we can only do that with LP shares. We can't do it with like centralized exchange order book like orders. So I have no interest in being on centralized exchange. If they want to add us, they can, but I'm not going to solicit it. What's my background in economics, finance? Can we give the ohmless unclaimed alpha? I'm pretty sure that there is no unclaimed alpha. I think there might be like 110 ohm still there, but everyone who migrated, like all 50,000 alpha ohm have been distributed. Everyone who migrated from alpha ohm to ohm will get their alpha ohm back. And if you want to do it, or if you want to give someone your alpha ohm, go ahead, but you don't have to. And we don't have any to really give away. That's the thing. Literally the DAO has none. I think I have 130 or whatever the pre-sale allocation was, but I'm not going to do anything with it except hopefully not be ohmless. Yeah. Any plans on partnering with an investors to help grow the project? We did do a private sale. There's an article about this. I think that they've been great so far. Really good partners in this. If you have any investors who want to get involved, by all means, point them our way. But we're not doing another private sale. And there's I don't know. I can maybe help with OTC. I don't even know how I would do so, but if you want to ask me, I guess. But you're gonna have to buy ohm from the market in some way or another. You're not getting any primary market sales. Sorry. Can we do time weighted rebases or yeah, we can't really because what's it called? It's rebasing, and so everyone gets rebased the same. There are a couple ways that we could do, some people get rebased more, but they're all really complicated and are them right now. So, we don't have, it ended up being super hard as well to have it take away your, the staking or the SOM rebase. The staking contract isn't the one that actually does the rebase. Taking away your last rebase was a little complicated and we didn't want to do it. And I don't see any real reason to do it. I think that having a time lock or something is kind of a gimmick. I don't know. I don't think that we need you're locked into this gimmick. I was thinking about we could have a secondary pool with a time lock that earns more rewards. That's something that we could explore down the line. But in terms of you can't leave, I don't like the idea of that. What's the difference if they leave now or a release ago? When the sales contract will sell ohm, will it sell all of it directly to the market? Won't it create huge slippage? No. So it sells. Basically, we can tune it to sell some amount. When it does sell, let's say that we're trading right now at $1,000, right? Basically, it would offer for sale, let's say 1 ohm. You can go to our website and buy ohm through our website. And when you do so, it'll check and it'll say, okay, is the protocol selling ohm right now? It is? Okay, cool. So you're trying to buy 2 ohm. Protocol is selling 1 ohm. The protocol will sell you 1 ohm and it'll do it at $980. And then your other 1 ohm will be bought from SushiSwap for $1,000. And so in total, you will get 2 ohm for $990 each. So it gives you a little discount to incentivize you to go through our website. And then, it just brought in $980. It backs your token with $1. It has 979 left over. It makes 979 new ohm from those and then gives those to staking and the DAO. So we have a variable that tunes how much it will sell. But all of this comes later. We're not doing sales right now. We're doing bonds. Bonds are a little bit different there. They already make sense from what I explained, but I don't know, man. Like they really shouldn't be anything that you have to worry about. I would just, I will publish the reward distributor that the bonds send the rebates into, and y'all can keep track of, what the APY is going to be, what the Epoch rebates will be. Okay, so can I explain the pricing mechanism for bonding LPs? Yes. Okay. So basically, if you take the price of Ohm, if you do the square root of price times 2, that is what the protocol values the LP share at. So let's say price is $100, right? If you were to buy $100 worth of LP, square root of 100 is 10. The protocol will value that LP at $20. So 2 square root of price, right? So you just LP'd with $10. Let's say that the premium is 4.5. So basically you will get or let's say the premium is 5, sorry. So the protocol will mint 20 Ohm in response to the $20 you just got. Your premium is 5, and so you will get a fifth of that, or 4 Ohm. Those 4 Ohm are worth $400. So that's high. Basically the actual premium would be higher than that. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Those are pretty well documented. Basically, the only thing that's not documented, or which I will add, is the minimum premium, and that just puts a floor on the premium where no one gets less than this, or no one pays less than this to the protocol. So if the minimum premium will be 25. If you bonded 100 Ohm worth, you get 4 of them at the most. And then the more bonds there are, the less you get. I hope that makes sense. But basically with the $100,000 LP, that should translate into I think it would be 120 Ohm for the bonder, and 4,400 Ohm going to staking, and another 400 going to the DAO. What is the ETA on sales contract deployment? Weeks away. Honestly, don't worry about sales right now. Bonds are the big thing. Sales are a slightly different version of bonds, but the mechanic is, or the end result is very similar. So sales just kind of happen at a higher rate, which is good when we're really trying to increase supply. But right now we need to be very careful about weaning the market into more supply and not just dumping a bunch of supply into staking at once. Can I give people a one sentence description of why Fei isn't even a competitor? Okay, this is how I compare us to Fei. Fei cares about the price of their token on the market, but doesn't care about how much reserves it has to back each token. We do the opposite. We don't care about the price in the market. All we care about is how much money we have to back each token. So it's a flip between those two goals. In our case, we let the market choose what the price is. We just maintain our own reserve backing. In their case, as far as I understand it, they try to maintain a market price. They don't care really how much reserves they have for this token. We're the main devs. You can see the team up on the top right. Okay. I'll take a couple more questions and then hopefully we can wrap this. It's been almost an hour. Lots of talking from me. Jeff is back, and Jeff's fucking killing it, man. Stoked on Jeff. Bullish on Jeff. Thoughts on Ample? Ample rebase is too fast. If you're in here expecting this, where you're getting rebased 3% every 8 hours, because I don't know, that's too high. It's unsustainable. We are pacing things so that they can last longer. That is the goal. So I saw someone last night being like, oh, I expected me to get rebased faster. It's like, nope, sorry. We're in this for the long haul. We're not out here to get rebased up by 10% a day for 2 days and then, fucking have it collapse, Yeah, the C note as well, Wordle. And I actually, I've become attuned to the ways of the dev, which has been fun. Solidity is pretty fun. Bonds live 3:30, 3-3 baby. All right, I think we're good. Give it like one more minute. See if we get any stragglers. I see Jeff typing. Thank you guys. You guys are fucking awesome. I just want to say, I am blown away by our community. Really, I don't know what I did to deserve this. I am thankful for every single one of you. This, even if this were to end tomorrow, I feel like this is by far one of the most amazing experiences of my life. This has just been incredible. I'm in here for the long haul. We're gonna keep it up. If I can do anything, I have so many ideas for things to do, and it makes it so much easier to implement them because of how many there are here. Just I don't know. You guys are amazing. I really can't stress it enough. Fucking the Omis for life, man. You will receive me. That does sexual, but it's okay. Yeah, no, the Omis are strong, man. Fucking Ohm is I swear, this is one of the best communities in DeFi right now. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it's awesome, and I'm here for it. Yes. Just overcome with joy, man. Seriously, I really hope that you guys just take it, because this is really special. I don't know, it doesn't go like this every time. It really something different, something special is happening here. Just I don't know, take a minute and appreciate it, because these things are once in a lifetime. I feel like. Yeah, I'm glad that we're home now. Yeah, Ollie, lame. Homies for life, baby. ETA couple weeks, at least. We're gonna give we're gonna give the bonds a couple weeks to build up liquidity. So it's not really gonna be so much when is it done as when is the market and when is the for the sales. So I would like to see. I think that a good number would be probably 300,000 to 500,000 in supply at least before we do any sales, because those can really just build up we can really kick supply growth into hyperspeed at that point, and be adding on 50,000 supply per day conceivably. I don't think that we would do that right off the bat, but a lot of supply very quickly. If we were to do that right now, it would be amazing. So my background is in econ finance. I've been in the crypto space for about 4 years now. I have a pretty strong trading background, kind of a quant background. I don't know, I like economics, I like degenomics, I like memes, music. Plans on Ohm merch. Someone please put together a merch store. Seriously, I want those hoodies. Someone put a picture of a hoodie with our Discord logo on it, and I will buy all of them. Please, someone make that. That'd be so sick, dude. We're all just dripped out in our Omi socks. I was thinking though that we should do Ohm shorts, and then we all just burn them together. Yeah, so we're definitely gonna do some bounties for community initiatives. So I want to. So with the dev challenge that I was talking about before, there's gonna be a bounty on that. It'll be maybe 10 Ohm. And then with the Alpha Ohm idea, there will be incentives there. Yeah, the really good thing is that our DAO is very capitalized now, especially in Ohm terms. I don't really want to flood the market with those Ohm, but we do have some breathing room to get some stuff done and reward people for contributing, because I'm all about rewarding people for contributing. But I do like doing it retroactively as much as possible. It's a little trickier to do that now because I can't be making the decision of arbitrarily this person gets this much. But I would like to see you guys brainstorm on ways that we can reward people without saying do this and you will get money. I don't really like that kind of a thing. Because it invites profit or rent seekers and that's not what Ohmies are about. Getting shit done, doing cool shit, and if we get rich from it, that's cool. How was the massage I had? It was amazing, and I felt so much better. It was good. Riot Capital partnership would consist primarily of putting our assets into their aggregator, into their pools, but we won't be doing that for a little while just because we don't have that much money in the treasury, and so it doesn't make a lot of sense to be setting all that up for $70,000. No, it was not a happy ending. I don't know. I would say fortunately. It was a 50-year-old dude, so I don't know if I would have been into that. Thoughts on Ohm being collateral? It's an interesting thing because it's weird. You can kind of chain them, where you could back Ohm by Ohm, and if that Ohm that's backing the Ohm is backed by DAI, then it kind of you're still maintaining the correct backing. Because if you ever needed the backing, you could take the middle Ohm, you could burn it, you could reassign the DAI backing that middle Ohm onto the top Ohm, and then bam, you got that Ohm backed by DAI. That's something that we will explore later. I don't know, think about that. There's really cool dynamics there. I'll leave that to you to figure it. Man, there's something on the website homepage too about that maybe you can spot. How do I envision people spending Ohm as a currency? No, so Ohm or SOhm I would like to remain non-transferable. SOhm becomes a savings account. Ohm becomes your checking account. So you would put what you don't need to spend in your SOhm. You would stake it in, and then what you do spend on a day-to-day basis, you would hold in Ohm. That's how I envision it. Yeah, so it's kind of like a built-in bank account, Oh yeah, I mentioned that we're going on. The sushi team approached us, which I think is really special. I was incredibly flattered. They're awesome. I had been meaning to reach out, and they kind of beat us to it, which was really, really cool. Yeah, so I love sushi. I'm glad that we're on sushi. It was very deliberate to be on sushi. And yeah, they're awesome. I'm really stoked that we're going to be on Onsen. It's great to get that kind of validation, I guess, from them. Yeah, shout out Maki, and Amanda, if y'all are here. Yeah, y'all are cool. Yeah. How does it feel to not tank price by 80%? I don't know, man. Honestly, feels kind of bad. Maybe I should throw some FUD in the mix right now, huh? Should I FUD the price right now? Say some, I don't know, man. What would I even say? This shit is backed by $1. 1 Ohm equals $1. Come on. It has to trade at what it's backed by. What are you talking about? Do you have podcast appearances planned? Kind of. Maybe. I already went on one, but then I had it postponed because I don't know, like, man, I don't think that we need any more marketing right now. You know, maybe in a couple. But right now I feel like we're pretty set in terms of like word of mouth. You know, let me save the firepower for when we need it. Damn, did I crash the price? Actually, I was kidding. Like we've been in rebases for like multiple days. It's like that's a dank meme, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, meme contest too. Submit for the meme contest. It ends in like 6 more days, 7 more days. Already some pretty fucking fire submissions. I'm stoked. There's one of them that's like a video with the Immortals or something that was absolutely hilarious. Like I don't think I've laughed that long or that hard. That was amazing. Shoot, who made that? I gotta find you. I already told you I love it, but if you're listening, I love that. FUD. More FUD. Yeah. Y'all gotta be psyopsing though, like on God. I like seriously, you guys gotta be out there like tricking people and not getting in. Like literally, like I don't know, like we don't need people to buy right now, really. Like I hope that you guys kind of get that. Kind of pace these things, you know? There's no reason to like get everyone in right now. I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about price though. I don't like so no more price discussion. Yeah, rip bum, dude. Lost homie. Damn, someone really did. No, I'm not talking about it. Yeah, bum is kind of the Dave Portnoy of You're right. Gets in a 10K, sells like, or gets in 11K, sells at 10K, and then has fun staying poor. Oh yeah, the launch process. Okay, yeah, that warrants some like walkthrough, I guess. Basically, my plan was so I added 8,000 ohm and 120,000 DAI to liquidity instead of 10,000 and 150,000, so it was 80%. My intent was to just like sell the other 2,000 real quick, right after whatever bot jumped in. When I submitted the transaction, right? So the gas price at the time was like 140, and I submitted the transaction with like 320 Quay. So it should have been instant. It literally should have been the next block. I was held in the mempool for over 2 minutes. And then that bot with zero gas cost, which means that the miner that mined that block was the bot or was in cahoots with the bot. They cheat. They fucking rigged Ethereum. If that guy is listening right now, you're a scumbag, dude. Like, on God. Like, why are you doing that? Like, seriously. So basically, they bought a fuck ton of the ohm. I sold on top of it, and we pulled out like an extra like $250,000 in liquidity or something. That's all now in the LP, which belongs to the DAO. So I mean, we came out of it with a W. The bot came out of it with less ohm, but that was just a really weird experience. I don't know. I should have listened to like someone told me to use some tool that lets you like go into the mempool without anyone seeing it. I should have done. I was nervous about like I had never done that before, and what if I did it and then I did it wrong and then the money was gone. I thought that would be worse. which I do think that would be worse, but it probably wouldn't have happened. Yeah, weird situation. Literally, like minor extractable value is a real thing. The dark forest is real. Like that, I did not understand that that's how it really worked. That they could literally hold me in the mempool for minutes while that bot got ready, and then he bought without any gas cost. Like it's absurd. Yeah, so go yell at go yell at the miners. Vote for EIP 1559, I guess. Let's get ETH2 out there. Like fuck these guys, seriously. Like I don't know. I think that they think that Ethereum belongs to the miners. It doesn't. Ethereum belongs to the users. Ethereum belongs to the developers. Like understand that. Will I host an after party? Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll play some music and vibe a little bit. Don't even get me started on the gold standard, man. Man, maybe one day. Maybe one day. All right. I'm thinking we're set. Damn, now every time I say that we're good, it's like several people are typing suddenly. When S gold in treasury, when you can custody gold trustlessly, aka never. Hell yeah. Thank you, Fred, dude. I like talking stuff, so like I'm glad that you guys like listening. Someone at least, the normies that I know, are like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, so this is definitely cool for me. Like, aw, thank you. It's not Morgan Freeman level, I'm sure, but maybe it's close. Maybe I'm halfway there or something. What is the next collateral asset after DAI? I don't know, man, but I think that Rye would be really cool. They seem to be doing a good job of like remaining semi-steady, and like we don't really need it to be like a super consistent number so long as it trades in a range. So Ren BTC, no. Ren BTC is not trustless. Ren BTC is owned by Alameda. It's controlled by like 95% of their network or something is Ren, the team, which I think is now owned by Alameda. That's not trustless. We should not be using assets that have any custodian or centralized entity that can take or like cut or that can confiscate those funds. Because if that's the case, the protocol doesn't own them. They do. They're just lending them to you. They're just letting you use them. That's a very dangerous dynamic that I don't want to get anywhere near. Ohm is for the people. Everyone is Nomi if they want to be. Well, I don't want to. We'll go into the gold standard or I don't even. I looked into Big Cloud, man, and I don't even know. But isn't Rye considered a competitor? Why there doesn't need to be any actual competition here. There's a ton of growth potential here. We can work together. We don't have to be at odds with each other. We should definitely compete, and that competition is healthy. Competition invites innovation and growth, but we don't need to be adversarial. I think that's the big distinction. Float is another one. Float would be really cool. That's for you, Will. Yeah, I don't quote me on that though, because I do need to like systemic risk, because you can imagine a world in which Ohm is backed by like Float and Rye is backed by Ohm and Float is backed by Ohm and Rye. Like, I don't know, it could be messy. Like, we don't. I need to evaluate what kind of systemic risk factors that would produce. It could be cool, and it could probably translate into really cool recursive growth loops for all three of us. But we don't want to do that building on like a house of cards, where it can all just like collapse simultaneously. That's something that I think that DeFi needs to like think about is you can't be building things on shoddy foundations where they're too interlinked, because that's what triggers like financial crises. Like, you take certain things for given, and then you exploit them too much, and then they collapse and everything collapses with them. Yeah, exactly like 2008. No need to end the Fed, man. Like, they can do what they're doing, we'll do what we're doing. I think it really just comes down to like, people should have a choice of what their money is. Okay, there we go. Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna sign off in 1 minute. So get whatever else out, just because we're gonna be here forever if I don't cut it off at some point. After party DJ set after or after the call-ins, man. In the after party, I gotta pull up a playlist. Am I a worthless fiat millionaire now? I don't even know, man. I don't know. Like, I haven't even calculated what I have on it. I have no interest in selling it anytime soon, so it doesn't really matter. What happens when we get to 1+ billion market cap? We will slowly or eventually drop in price until we find a floating peg in a fixed market cap. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. So we should. What I intend and what I hope happens is that as supply grows, we slowly deleverage in price, where balance growth far exceeds price decline, and then we should hit like a healthy middle ground, like a premium with sales and bonds, which translates into good yield, in the hundreds or thousands of percent. Not as crazy as the period leading up to that, but with that is a lot less risk, and so it becomes much more of like an institutional ready asset where you can much larger players can get in and like feel comfortable getting in and just earn high yields relative to anything else that you're going to find. Yeah, no, we should definitely like, yes, Fred, we will like, I don't know, I would like to see them uh prop up without my direction, like, if you want to set something like that up, like by all means, and like, petition to the DAO to get some funding, dude. Like, hell yeah. Okay. All right. Good call, guys. Always a pleasure. We'll do this again soon. Yeah, until we reach the top of Olympus, dude. That's all there is to it. 3-3, baby. Peace, homies.